Welcome to this new lesson. In this lesson, we will use the chat completion model to obtain insight from the transcript that we generated in the previous lesson. The insight consists of keywords and topics. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Now here at the top, we will need now to create or call a new function. Let's first comment out the console logs. Then let's call the new function that we will build now. And finally, let's just return the insights. Of course, these insights, as we will see, is in JSON format. Okay, let's go down and let's comment out this console log as well. Okay, so in this generate insights, we get the transcript file name. We have generated here from the previous step, generate transcription. It returned the transcription file name, and we here pass it to the generate insights. Now let's go and validate that this file does actually exist. So we do that by this if statement. Of course, we use the file exist function that we used earlier. If the file does not exist, we console log that and just return. After that, we define this variable that will contain the transcript text, which we will read now from the file. Let's now stick a try-catch block in order to read from the file. In case of error, we just console log and return. In the try, we just read the file using the file system object, passing the transcript file name and the UTF-8 encoding. And then we just convert that to a text. So now we have the transcript text in this variable. Then we need to make the call to the chat completion API. So in order to do that, we need to prepare the system and the user prompts. Let's start by the system prompt. So the system prompt, it is of course backtext because we are going to use JavaScript variables. We are telling him that you are the insightful AI assistant. Insightful because we want it to generate insights for us. Then we add this text. Please analyze the following YouTube content and provide important keywords and main topics covered. So that's it. Clearly we are telling it that we are passing for you a text which is from a video, and we need to look for keywords and topics. Now we will give them the YouTube content. So YouTube content colon, then we put this variable which we read from the specified transcript file. Then after that, we need to do the user prompt. So we are telling him here, please generate the output exactly in this JSON format. We will require it to be in JSON format, so we can ask chat completion models. They can generate any kind of data, including JSON format. Then we here specify the actual format that we want. These characters are just 3 dots, so let me correct it. So 3 dots to mean the others, and here also 3 dots. Okay, so this is the format. We want to have a keywords key that its value is an array of the keywords, and a topics key which value is an array of JSON objects. Each of these JSON objects has a title and description. So this is the format that I want the chat completion model to return the insights for me in. Now let me define the messages list. This messages list will contain 2 objects. The first one is the system role. The content is the system prompt that we have defined here. And the other object is of course for the user role, and the content is this prompt that we have defined here. Then below the messages, we will do the chat completion call. So from the OpenAI API object, we call create chat completion. It is asynchronous, so that's why await, and the response is to be stored in this variable. The first parameter, of course, will be the model name, so we will use GPT 3.5 Turbo. Then we pass the messages list, followed by the temperature, which we set to 1, which is the default, because we wanted to have some creativity in the response. It's not deterministic. Of course, because it is the default, we could have not put it, but here we have put it. Finally, we pass the max token, which is the number of tokens to generate in the response. Let's look at the content just to make sure that it is in the correct format that we look for. Let's then store that in the insights variable. Of course, insights is a string, so we need to convert it to a JSON object. And that's what we are doing here. And that, of course, will return the JSON object. Now to test that, let's go back to the playground. Let's here first attach a then a block, then inside this then block, we will just console log the returned insights. Okay, let's test that. So now first it will download the file, then it will get the transcription of the file, and finally it will get the insights, which are the keywords and the topics and their description. Okay, so now two steps are completed, the download and the transcription. Now it should be calling the chat completion model in order to generate a JSON object that contains the keywords and the topics. Okay, so that has returned now. The JSON object seems to be correct. Let's make this larger. As you can see, we here have the keywords. Inside it, we have a list of all the important keywords. Of course, we might ask him to get us, for example, the top most important or something like this, or we can summarize them ourselves. For the topics, again, we have an array of objects. Each object contains a title and a description, and we can see that here we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 main topics that has been talked about with a title and a description for each of these. So by this we have completed most of the functionality from the server side. In the next lesson we will convert this to a REST API, and then we will do the front end.